Hi everyone, on this Wednesday, it is another News 2 Gives Back, and we are back at the Metro Police Department. We'll talk more about who we're with in just a moment, but this is sponsored by Trevecca Nazarene University in partnership with the Nashville Predators. And I'm joined by Detective Matt Filter, and he oversees one of the divisions here at Metro Police, and that's in regards to missing persons and cold cases. Matt, thank you. Glad to meet with you and talk with you today. Tell us a bit more about your department and what you all do.
Well, the cold case unit, we're responsible for any cold case homicides. We work missing persons. We do try to identify human remains that are found as well. Our cold case homicides, we classify a homicide as a cold case when it's at least a year old and all viable leads are exhausted.
Okay, and for missing persons, the age range for that, we're not talking about youth missing persons, but we're talking about adults, correct?
Correct. We handle all the adult missing persons cases. Our youth services division takes care of missing people under the age of 18.
Okay, all right, and you all will travel anywhere to find leads, to help solve cases and whatnot. Just a random question: how far have you traveled to solve a case or to get tips?
We go wherever we need to, really, and where we can get approved to go.
Sure.
I mean, we've had detectives go out as far as California to interview people, pick up suspects. So we travel quite a bit, and California. I was recently in Texas earlier this year on a case. So we go where we need to go and do what we need to do to get these cases solved.
Okay, and you all deal with a lot of cold cases. How many of those would you say, on average, that you all have given to you all per year?
It's kind of hard to say because it just depends on the number of homicides that we have from year to year. We currently have probably a little over 500 cold cases, and that's going back to 1970. There's obviously a few more past 1970 and that we look at. There's a few of them that we're still looking at, but unfortunately when cases get to a certain age, a lot of the people that were involved in the case are no longer around. They've either moved on or they're deceased. And it's pretty hard to put cases together when your witnesses and your suspects are no longer here.
Okay. Talk about your team. This can certainly be very time consuming. A lot of work goes into this. It takes a lot of time to get these cold cases done. Talk about your team of people that work with you to help get these cases, both cold cases and missing person cases, solved.
Well, with missing persons, we've got two detectives that are dedicated to working the newest missing persons cases that come in. We probably average somewhere between 600 and 700 cases a year. Now, most of those are resolved within a few days. There's maybe one or two that end up becoming what we consider a long-term missing persons case. Oftentimes those cases get resolved within a year or so. There's some that are still outstanding. Probably our oldest case is about 40 years old. So we continue to review over those cases. We look for updated technology to try to help us solve a lot of cases, and that includes DNA, electronics, like with phones and computers. So it's just a constant reviewing of cases, looking for updated technology or leads that have been missed. We also get a lot of tips that come into our office, and so those tips get assigned to a detective to follow up on and see if anything can be done with that tip that might move a case forward.
Yeah, and I would like to ask also about tips. How can people submit tips if they happen to have information about a specific cold case? How are they able to send that your way?
They can call the cold case unit at 615-862-7329, or if they want to remain anonymous, they can call Crime Stoppers at 74-CRIME.
Okay. And do y'all keep a list? Is it public? Maybe it's private on your different cold cases where you need the public's help to get any information for leads?
We have several cases that are really at a standstill. I mean, they're truly cold. We've exhausted everything we can with them at this time. So certainly if there's any case out there, whether it be a homicide or a missing persons case or maybe a case involving some unidentified remains that were found, if they know anything at all about it, we'd love to hear from them. Even if they think that the information they have is insignificant and isn't going to help at all, give us a call, let us know what you know, and we'll determine whether or not it's going to be beneficial.
Sure, absolutely. And I think that's probably one of the things we hear a lot when police are asking for the public's help. Sometimes information may not be, they may think it's not significant, but to you all, it could be that missing piece. And I know that plays a very big role. The last question I want to ask, tell me about how long you've been in your position as detective here with cold cases. And I know it's very difficult with your job and whatnot, but there has to be some sort of reward or some sort of thing that you take and find gratitude in helping people find these cold cases, helping to get them solved.
Yeah, I've been with the police department 24 years. Been a detective about 18 years of that, and been assigned to the cold case unit for the last 6 years. And yes, I mean, solving a cold case is very rewarding. I mean, even with just regular homicides that you get, to be able to solve one of them is huge, because they're just some of the most important cases that we work. So when we're able to resolve a case that's several years old, I mean, that's extremely rewarding for us, because it usually brings the family some relief and a little bit of resolution for themselves on a personal level. So, when we can give a family that and get a dangerous person off the streets, it's always a win for us.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Detective Vilger. Great to meet you. Thank you. We're so glad to be able to give back to them. We've brought sandwiches and lunch to provide for them. All of this is courtesy of Trevecca Nazarene University in partnership with the Nashville Predators. For News 2, I'm Marcus Bagwell. Have a great Wednesday, and we're so proud to give back to the Metro Police Department Cold Case and Missing Persons Unit.